Hello and welcome to DYSboxing, the place for assistive tech reviews. And today we have an app for you called Global AutoCorrect. Now, you may be familiar with autocorrect on something like your phone, and to be honest, it can sometimes be as much of a hindrance as it is a help. I mean, you're all quite familiar with stuff like this, trying to write something and autocorrect totally missing the point. Now, when I was told there was something like this for my laptop, something that I could use in Word and when I'm writing emails, I was a little bit skeptical. When I'm sending texts, it's not that important, but some of the information or the documents that I'll be creating can be quite important, and some of the mistakes I've made with autocorrect before have been pretty tragic. But I threw caution to the wind, and just for you guys, I tried it out. So I have Global AutoCorrect on my laptop now. The first thing you ask yourself is, where is it? Most assistive tech has some kind of box, some kind of interface. With Global AutoCorrect, there was nothing, and I wasn't quite sure it was even working. I mean, if you pop down here, you can see the Global AutoCorrect logo here. You can open up the interface and change some settings, but when you close it, it's gone. And that is the beauty of this software. It doesn't clutter up your screen, you don't need to move things about, and if you are a bit self-conscious of using assistive tech, no one needs to know. So the way it works is it positions itself in between you inputting text into the keyboard and it appearing on your screen, and it analyzes that text in 3 different ways. It does have some factory settings which Global AutoCorrect have done extensive research and looked at the most common spelling mistakes people make. The second way is through analyzing what you've written, and when it's 100% sure that's what you were trying to write, it will correct your typing. The third way is if there is something that isn't in Global AutoCorrect, you can set some custom corrections. So I've prepared a document here with some corrections that Global AutoCorrect should help me out with. So I'm spelling words phonetically and how they sound, and this is how I would normally spell them normally because I ain't a great speller. First of all, make sure Global AutoCorrect is switched on, and to do that it's Shift Control P. And you can see at the bottom right, Global AutoCorrect resumed, GAC will correct spelling. Now, aristocrat, that is how I think aristocrat should be spelt. Obviously, Word doesn't think so, and it's put that red line underneath. So I'm going to try and spell that word again with Global AutoCorrect engaged. So aristocrat. That looks like a good spelling to me. Initially, it was got wrong. Global AutoCorrect has corrected that. So I'll try with something else. Dedicated. So dedicated. Word says no again. Dedicated. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, I've seen those kind of corrections happening when I'm typing in Word without Global AutoCorrect. So you are correct, there is some autocorrect built into Word. I'll just bring up a document that I prepared earlier. Just so you don't have to watch me typing. So this is something that I typed earlier without Global AutoCorrect on. So you can see there's a few red lines here and there. I've also got some corrections highlighted yellow and highlighted blue. So the ones that I've highlighted blue are the ones that you can get Word to correct for you. So English. It's changed the E. If we go down here, in the. So I think what I did when I typed in the, I was typing quickly, in the. Again, Word will change that for you. Sound, I think I put too many ends, sound to ends there. Again, it changes that for you. And assistive. Okay, so assistive, it hasn't changed. And I can then go in and change it to assistive. So, you know, what's built into Word is quite useful, but where it falls down is in other ways. So for instance, software is a word that I like to type. So I typed software, S-T-O, software. That's spelt wrong, but Word will correct it, which is great. If I spell software like this, which is actually a more logical way to spell it, I press spacebar and Word doesn't correct it. So then I've got to go in again and software. Again, software is quite an easy word, but there are a lot of words that you think, is it 2 words? Is it 1 word? And confusion starts to come into the scenario. We'll just go back to my other prepared piece of text. Yep, we go back in there. Okay, so the word entrepreneur. No one knows how to spell entrepreneur, myself included. So this is how I would spell entrepreneur. E-N, on is French, right? Trapanneur. Word says no. I go into Word, it hasn't got a clue. So what I would need to do then, this would be my workaround, I'd copy it, I'd go into Google, I'd paste it, Google would come up with the right word, then I have to copy that, then go back into Word, then paste it, but now it's the wrong font, so then I have to change it, unitalicize it, underline it, change the color to black, and then check what size that is. That's 14, and then I can change that to 14, and then I'm done. Now you can start to see how frustrating that could become, and that happens, you know, 2, 3, 4 times in the document when I'm writing something long. That mixed with the kind of red line corrections that you have to do, mixed with the things that, you know, it just becomes a real pain. So what you can start to do is train Global AutoCorrect to see this correction. So next time that I make the same mistake, it will correct it for me. And once you start building these up and training the software to recognize the way that you write, it can become a game changer. Okay, so I can double click on entrepreneur, the way that I've spelt it. I can launch the application. So the factory default is F2. That's the factory default, but I've got one of these keyboards that the F keys have different functions. So if I press F2, I start changing the brightness of my screen. So you can change that shortcut within the menus. I've changed it to Alt X, which is a nice, easy one to remember, and I don't need to move my hands around the keyboard so much. So highlight entrepreneur, the way that I've spelt it, open the application, Alt X for me, and then instantly it's found the correction that is the most likely. Generally finds the correct one, but you can play it if it's something which is difficult to read, to hear it back. Entrepreneur, that's really good, so I know that's the correct one. Sometimes there are other options that you may want to change it to, but entrepreneur is the one that I want, and then I click OK, and it will change entrepreneur for me. So it's changed it in this document, but what's great is every time I type entrepreneur, it will change it to the correct spelling. And once you start building up these custom corrections, you can see how powerful this piece of software can be and how much time it can save you. So the last thing I want to show you is pretty cool. It makes this a really useful aid to productivity. So something that I have to write quite a lot is this phrase here. The Codpast is the best dyslexia website on the planet. Go to www.thecodpast.org for mind-blowing dyslexic blog posts, videos and podcasts. So this is a little bit of a joke, but you may have really long pieces of text that you need to write on a constant basis, and Global AutoCorrect can do something really cool with that. So you can create a shortcut to create these long pieces of text. And this isn't an official use of Global AutoCorrect, but it works pretty well. So what I'll do is I'll type my shortcut as Codpast 1. And one tip is, if you are going to do this, if you make a word, it needs to be a word that you're not going to have to use in real life, otherwise it will correct it all the time. So the best thing is to do is to use an acronym or to put a number behind it. So I'm going to use Codpast 1, so I will copy the text that I want to use in that shortcut, copy, then I will highlight the word, open up the interface, F2. So what I will do now, where it says correct, is paste the text that I want to use, click OK, and then it will tell me this isn't a real word. I can click use this word, and you can see, as if by magic, that is typed out for me. So every time I type the word Codpast 1, that will be typed out. So that is a pretty cool use of this software. Like I said, it's not an official use, but that would save me loads of time. So if you've got any questions about Global AutoCorrect, drop me a line, and if I don't know the answer, I definitely know people that do. If you've got questions about any other assistive tech, please drop me a line. Drop me a line in the comments below, Twitter, Facebook, on the blog. There's links to the blog below, and also we've got a couple of copies of Global AutoCorrect to give away. Again, check down below for information about how you can win that. So I guess I'll see you next time when I'm DYSboxing.